You are listening to Ice Cream for Breakfast with your hosts, Tara Chase and Kevin Hansen. Do you know what that means? Well, there's a great guest lined up. So sit back and enjoy some ice cream.
Christina is a certified personal trainer, registered yoga teacher, certified nutrition coach, and health enthusiast. She is the owner of Torque Body Shop Indoor Cycling and Yoga Studio in Downtown Boise and has been involved in health and fitness and helping people increase vitality and longevity for over 16 years.
So about 12, 13 years ago, I was on dating sites and whatever, and you meet people, and this girl I met from San Diego, and she was really nice, she was really pretty, and we started talking, and we had great conversations, and she read my first book, but we never met, and then we just kind of lost contact, and so, but I remained friends with her on Facebook. And so about a month ago, she posted this. I'm packing light. I might get emotional. I don't know why after what we just went through, but it says, I'm packing light for the afterlife. Everything must go. And she's selling everything in her house.
She has cancer.
So I looked at her page more because I'd seen things where she'd gone out with friends and, gone on trips and seen family. And I'm not going to say her full name.
Okay.
But her friend posted this. As many of you know, Leslie has been living with cancer in various forms since 2001, as a journey marked by extraordinary strength, grace, and resilience. After so many years of courageously navigating this path, her road is now drawing to a close. She has been given an estimated 3 to 5 months to live, and with deep clarity and courage, she has chosen to focus on the quality of life in this time. What that looks like will unfold day by day, guided by love, comfort, and presence. Many of you ask how you can support her. Well, there are practical ways. Perhaps the most meaningful thing is we can share our words. And there's a line here that's, I think, the most important. Too often we wait until someone is gone to share what they mean to us. This line. But love should be spoken while it can still be heard.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I reached out to her.
I'm so glad.
And I just said, hey, I don't know what to say to you, but I want you to know how much you meant to me at some point in my life and how much I loved our conversations. And I said, what can I do for you? I said, here's my number. If you need to talk to somebody at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, call me. I don't care. I haven't talked to her for 10 years or more.
Right.
And she said, I appreciate that. I did love our conversations. And then there was part of me who said, I should go visit her. For what reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's surrounded by a lot of people who care about her and love her. And I thought, how weird would that be for me just to show up with no intention other than just to say hello more than anything.
Yeah, you never met her.
Never met her.
Yeah.
And so I've struggled with that.
This was a week ago-ish?
I sent her a message a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And I don't know what I should do, if I should just let it go.
No, go.
Or, well, she's 5 hours away and not that.
That's nothing.
Right. So I guess it is a little heavy to start the show, but we want to talk about health and aging and what we can do to be healthier as we age. So thanks for coming in and let me share that story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks for sharing.
So how did you get into, what was your drive with fitness or healthy lifestyles in general?
Yeah, so there's actually quite a bit of parallels with this too. So it's interesting that you started with that. I've been into sports and fitness and nutrition my whole life. But when I was in middle school, my mom was diagnosed with very rare uterine sarcoma. And so at the same time, my parents were getting divorced and my mom was like dying at my house. So there was a lot of heaviness going on, and I saw how that can impact a whole family, individuals, my mom. it was an instance where all of her hair was falling out, all of her nails were falling out. I was at a point in my life where I was just trying to figure myself out, my hormones out. And sports were kind of an escape for me. They were a way that I could get my mental health. They were a way that I could be around people and find connection. They were a way that I knew I could give to my body and try to prevent myself from getting things like that down the road, as much as I knew at a young age of, 12, 13 years old. So that's kind of where it started. And then from there, I couldn't live without sports for all of those reasons listed. And it was something that I became really passionate about because I wanted to learn how to help people that were in situations like that. So whether it was through food, whether it was through movement, whether it was through mindfulness, and as my life has kind of evolved to where it is today, I've just really kind of dug deeper into different aspects. So when you first introduced me, we talked a lot about like the fitness and health side of things, but I'm also in pharmaceutical sales for a women's health company. And I focus on bioidentical hormones and some contraceptives. Yeah. And so I'm super passionate about that too, and how we can just educate women on what is perimenopause, what is menopause, what is your body actually doing? Because up until the 90s, women weren't even required to be in studies for pharmaceuticals. Right. So it's insane how little information we have about women's health in general, whether it's nutrition, fitness, pharmaceuticals, medical. So it's just a passion of mine, kind of like my life purpose.
I love it.
And what sports did you gravitate to back then?
So soccer was my main sport. And then I also did track and volleyball, and
former coach.
Basketball a little bit.
Yeah,
as well.
I played. Yeah, I'm a track and volleyball and basketball girl.
Okay, cool.
I'm not soccer, like, what should I say?
You play indoor league.
But yeah, I play now, but I wasn't a soccer girl. Like, as far as like rules, I got a blue card the other night, and I looked at the ref and I said, "How did I do that?" Like, I didn't even know. And he's like, he spoke a different language, but held up that blue card. I'm like, but I don't even know what I did. So I don't know rules or mechanics of soccer, but I love to play now.
Wait, what is a blue card?
Yeah, because I know a red card and
there's
a
a
yellow
red card.
I got blued and I got sat out for like 3 minutes.
Because there's a yellow card, and then there's a red card.
Yeah, in volleyball we have red and yellow, but in soccer I got a blue card. Indoor soccer at Play It Again or Play It Boise, it's blue.
I wonder what that means. I don't know, because for soccer, for me too, it was red and yellow's a warning, red you're out.
I'm introducing you guys to real soccer rules.
Or are they
2025.
Are they like hockey rules where
I felt like I was in the penalty box.
5 minutes for fighting or something?
Speaking of hockey, I started going to hockey with Rayanne, who's our live guest today. Now I'm like a hockey nut, but anyway. Real quick, did they take you out of the game? I got
took you out of the game.
And I still and he did apologize to me because I had a game last week. We had a doubleheader, and I saw that or ref or whoever. Do they call them refs? Refs. And I saw him, and I looked at him with the evil eye, and he came over and apologized. Like, he went back to review it. I shouldn't have gotten the card, and like gave me knuckles. And then my whole team, I was like, what did I even do? But
so you still don't know what you did?
I still don't know what I did, but I got a blue card, and I had to sit out for like 3 minutes. It was exactly 3 minutes. We were down a player, just like hockey. Are you going to find out what it is?
It's a cynical foul. And
a cynical foul.
10-minute suspension.
10 minute. It was 3 for me, but.
So it must not have been that.
Cynical foul, everybody.
It was semi-cynical.
That's what happened to me. But so now I play soccer, indoor soccer, and I have done a few outdoor tournament things, but volleyball, track, those are my loves, and basketball, but. Yeah.
And you coached those as well?
And I coached volleyball for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love that you do this. Like, because even as adults, you can still play. That's what I want people to know, lifelong. And we have a golfer here, and she plays golf. And she's good, and she knows she's good. And she's super tan because she gets to play golf.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Michigan in a really small town called Marine City. So about 45 minutes north of Detroit.
Okay.
Sounds like the Bay City Rollers would be from somewhere like that. See, again, I'm showing my age.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
But I do know Traverse City.
So that's Up more north. So do you guys
So
know
when
like
people
the
do
Mitten?
this, yeah. I'm always
So
like, which side of Michigan?
Traverse City is like up here,
Okay.
and I grew up like right
You're down here. Okay.
somewhere. Yeah.
Do you
My
guys know,
brother-in-law is up here,
Okay.
or was. Yeah.
there's a joke there, but I won't do it. Do you guys don't know who the Bay City Rollers are?
Sounds like a roller
S-A-T-U-R
derby.
D-A-Y. Hey, it's a song from the 70s.
Do we know that song?
Thank you.
Can we look that song up just for fun?
I tried doing a song on our show, and
didn't
YouTube was
work.
like, nah, you can't do that. So I had to
Oh,
take it out.
really? Darn it.
Can
Anyway,
you sing it again then? 'Cause
Yeah.
S-A-T-U-R D-A-Y. S.
That sounds like Saturday.
Saturday night.
S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y.
Why am I singing? Because I don't sing.
Go for it. You have a mic.
Okay, Michigan, sorry. So I
All
told
good?
you,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
kind of get off on little things.
We don't call it random.
I call it random every week, and I
Every
got to
week.
stop. Okay, so you went to the University of Michigan.
I did.
Go Big Blue.
Yeah.
I'm a Cornhusker fan, but that's
Nebraska.
At least you're not an Ohio State fan, so we can be friends.
correct.
can.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. That's a big
Correct.
rival. Yep.
So what brought you to Idaho?
So funny relationships. Going back to that topic, I
Hey, can you give her her soulmate?
I know.
Give her your soulmate. You can take it.
Yeah, I moved here for a relationship, which didn't end up working out, but I loved it here. It reminds me a lot of Michigan, actually.
Okay.
And so I'm a big mountain biker, skier, outdoorsy, sports. So
Cool.
I stayed. Yeah.
Cool.
So what brought you to? So how hard is that though to be a rep that you are, and then have a studio? Or do you have other people that run the studio? How much are you in there? How hard is it to do? I have a feeling you're a little bit of you like to overachieve a bit. So
Okay,
how hard is
okay.
it to do all of that?
I'm the kind of person who, if I don't have a million things going on at once, then I'm inefficient. Like then I get lazy and just kind of sit around. So if I don't have the back to back to back, I'm kind of lost. So it's a lot. I also travel for work. So my territory is all of Idaho, half of Utah, and half of Washington. So I'm
Wow.
on the road 2 to 3 days a week. So I do have about 12 instructors at my studio. I also have 4 front desk employees. So I have other people that are there as well. But I'm pretty much running the show for that and looking to expand that. And the ultimate goal is to get out of the women's health pharma role and just incorporate more women's health education. I also do international retreats all over the world for women's health and yoga and surfing.
How
So
cool.
Focusing on that
Yeah.
too.
Surfing?
So, yeah. Yeah.
So you'd have to travel to do that because we don't have surfing here.
Well, there's the river
There is
wave,
the
I
river
guess.
down there at
Oh.
Esther Williams or whatever
I mean,
it's
I
called.
could do
Esther
paddleboarding.
Simplot.
We better try it.
You could do it all.
Yeah, there you go.
So when did you pick up surfing?
So right after college, so after Michigan, I did move out to California. Hopefully we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, you can
here.
say that.
Okay.
You went
So
to
I was-
college there.
I'm a Dodger
Yeah,
fan. We're
I was
good.
there for a short period of time, and I learned how to surf out there. And then I just started hosting these yoga and surf retreats. So I've surfed in some of the breaks all over the world, in the Philippines and Portugal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
What's the
That's
most
awesome.
interesting story you have from surfing in a maybe an unknown place that I wouldn't think the Philippines was a surfing mecca.
So there's just different surf breaks at different places all over the world. So there's one called Siargao in the Philippines, and you have to take a boat out to surf it, and then there's different breaks around it. So I'm not a big wave surfer by any means.
Okay.
I'm very intermediate. But it's cool to go out and get
Yeah.
the surf culture and the vibe, and then there's other places around there that you can go for all different levels. But I think Portugal is kind of the most insane in terms of surfing. I didn't expect it. I didn't realize it, but Nazaré is the biggest wave in the
wow.
world. It's huge. You have to get pulled in to surf it. And then all up and down the coast, they have amazing surfing there. So
That is so cool.
yeah, it's fun.
So
But no sharks or anything crazy. Like you haven't been encountered.
I haven't
by-
been, no,
Okay.
no sharks for me.
not yet.
Not
Is
yet.
it
I know.
safety?
I'm crossing my fingers over here.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems like there's just more on shark attacks I hear about. And I'm like, everyone used to tell me, oh, they're more scared of you than you are of them. And I'm like, there seems to be a lot of shark attacks lately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. The sharks scare me.
Yeah.
The one encounter I had with a shark was in the Bahamas, and I was actually on one of those little Hobie cats, and we had pulled up into just a little cove and got off, and we're walking around, and as we were walking, the water there is so clear.
Oh my gosh.
This shark like scoots out from the cove that we were in, and I couldn't have run faster back onto that boat and didn't get back
Yeah.
in the water all day long.
way.
But yeah.
But was it like a sand shark or a tiger shark or?
Probably a nurse shark.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was I mean 5
Huge.
feet at least, which was big enough to scare me.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, done.
I'm that way with snakes. Doesn't matter what it is.
Gosh,
Did I tell you about the snake I ran into at the cabin a month ago? It's a
Yeah.
rubber boa.
It's funny how you just say it's like just run into a snake.
Well, I'd never even heard of it.
insane.
It was about 1.5 feet long, and it was almost transparent.
Like
white.
yellow?
No, white.
Like a slug?
It looked like a toy, but it's called a rubber boa.
Ew.
And I guess they're in some of the mountains, and it had eaten something, so the stomach was a little fatter, and it just laid there. And I was going up to the hot springs, and then the whole time I'm like,
There's
then
more.
when I-
Where there's one, there's 10.
so when I came back, it was gone, and then I was like, anyway. But yeah, I'm that way with snakes. I don't.
Are they poisonous? The ones, the
no,
rubber boas?
No, they're just, I don't know what they do.
They are all poisonous.
Yeah, I know.
Like they are all. Although I can. My sister used to chase me with like she'd find a gardener snake, and then she'd chase me around the block. So that was the joke. How I became good at track, like long distance, because I would run around the entire block, so that she couldn't keep up with me.
So can I share another goofy story?
Yeah.
So I grew up in this house that was originally built on Warm Springs Avenue, and they moved it to the farm that I grew up on, and they dug a hole, and they put the house on top, and there was no real basement. It was dirt. So our basement.
You mean no crawl space?
No, it was like a basement, but the walls were all dirt.
Okay.
So
Like a hole in the ground. I
right,
guess.
it literally was. And so again, I was raised in a really small town, but we had a cornfield right next to our house. And so in the summer, it would get water in the basement, like 3 feet. So we would have, my dad was very old school, and we'd make our own, not make our own food, but we'd can our own food. So my brother and I, if we needed a can of green beans, we'd have to walk the plank over the water to get to the other shelving because everything had to be off the ground. And so we
Is there
would have
pictures
to,
of this? Like
we
I'd
would-
have
so
to
we
see how
would-
this worked.
So we would literally walk so we had these wood stairs,
Okay.
and then there was a wooden 2x10 or something that went over to the shelving,
Mm-hmm.
and there was water, and so we would literally walk the plank to get a jar of
Of
something.
green beans.
So one day I was in the house, and it was this cool old house,
Okay.
but it was very deep, and I walked in, and there was a snake
No
curled
way.
up in the corner, and I turned and jumped 3 jumps, and I did the triple jump in high school, and I broke our school record by standing and doing it out at the back of the house. So my dad's joke was, well, we just need to bring a snake to the track meet.
Of course. Of course.
I was like,
Of course.
I don't think
Yeah,
they want
just
that.
do that. Yeah.
And I know that I don't want that.
That is so gross. Like
It is.
I would not be able to understand.
Yeah, it was an odd situation.
Yeah.
So,
Dirt walls.
so
I
what
mean, the
happens
water
when you-
table is high. We're
Well,
in Idaho.
well,
Of course
because
there's
the
water.
cornfield, all
Yeah,
the irrigation
for sure.
just seeped in, and
I have to. Yeah, that's random. Wow.
well, it's called Grandview, Idaho.
That's
It's-
called random that we're not using anymore. Okay.
She's like, yep.
I grew up in Glens Ferry, so I'm very
Yeah, you
Wow.
know. Yeah.
There we go.
That's why
She knows
So
the
I
Bay
brought
City
her-
Rollers too.
she knows the role.
Okay,
had to sing it.
Fantastic.
right.
We'll just go jamming after this in my Jeep, and we'll listen to SATURTAY. And then we'll sing.
I feel like I should go back
Saturday.
and read that Facebook post again.
Yeah, we need to get back to Sirius. Actually, I think you should go to San Diego. Is that where she's at?
No, she moved. So what would you say are the most critical health issues for women? Is that maybe too broad of a question?
I mean, I think it can vary considerably based on age, based on a bunch of different factors. So, yeah, I think it's kind of a broad question.
Like, I would love to hear, and there's 3 of us here tonight, women and Kevin, but like, I know Kevin's like, what do I do on this show? I'm like, you're just gonna have to take notes. But tell us, like you started out with, there's not a lot of information. And doctor to doctor to doctor, you could go and get totally different opinions, especially as we age, and different, not diagnoses, but just our hormone levels change. And even in a young teenager, right? Like, but our food production has a lot to say about that. How we take care of ourselves has a lot. Our genetics have a lot. So give us some of your insight, like working with women, I'm sure, at your studio, and if you're coaching them, like what kinds of tips and things should we be looking for?
Yeah, I think it starts with, like you said, growing up as females, we have like a health class in school where we learn about our period, right? And they're like, this is a tampon and this is a pad and this should happen. Yeah. But even so, we're like, yeah, okay, we don't know what's going to happen.
And you should just go outside and take a Midol.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they are. And don't go to the school nurse. I don't know if you had a mean school nurse, but if you had to go get a pad from the nurse, it was like the most horrific experience of your life.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, finally, someone is putting like the feminine products in the bathroom for free. Mm-hmm. And these girls that are mortified already at 12, 13, 14 to go talk to a school nurse that doesn't love and care.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Ugh.
And back then too, I mean, a lot of moms wouldn't even talk about it. Like, it's not a conversation that you would just have with your mom. So, but there was more information on that than there is on perimenopause or menopause. Like, no one talks about those stages. So it's like you get thrown a pad and a tampon and you're like, well, when you start bleeding, figure it out. And then you go through childbearing age, where there's really not a lot of discussion about what comes with pregnancy or postpartum depression or anything like that. And to your point, doctors don't have a lot of training in it either. Even your OB-GYNs, like, they train how to deliver a baby. Right. They train like the vitamins that you need pre and post. They train how to do a pap smear, things like that. But they don't have a lot of knowledge about what's going on in women's bodies. And it's just because in general, we don't have a lot of knowledge. There haven't been a lot of studies in the past on it. Right. So now we're starting to catch up with that. But that's why you get different opinions depending on what type of doctor you go to. So now the push is to realize that we need to be educating young girls, and our menstrual cycle is starting earlier and earlier, as young as 8 now. Yep. And that goes back to your point about foods. It goes back to environmental toxins. So you know, like the little Bath and Body Works plug-in things, the scents, those are the absolute worst things that you can have in your house because they affect our hormone levels. And even at those young ages, things like that, things that are in our water, things that are in our food, all of those change the hormones in our bodies. And so that's what's bringing this early onset menstrual cycle or menarche. So it starts there, and then you start to move through. We're having babies later in life because of just the choices that we're making as women to start our careers, things like that. So that's getting shifted. And then perimenopause is starting sooner. So though the average for menopause is about 52, and menopause technically is defined by the 12 months after your last period. So menopause is technically just one day. It's exactly 12 months after your last period. And then after that, you're postmenopausal. Before that, you're perimenopausal, when you're kind of all over the place with your hormones, and sometimes you're having a period, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're bleeding for a month long. Sometimes it's all over the, no one's educated on any of these things.
And every person's body is different. So nobody has the one size fits all solution. And, you're just talking to your friends about it, right? Yeah. That's our go-to. Like, hey, are you having night flashes or sweating and they're just like all day long. And same thing with pregnancy. You're thinking, Kevin, you're going to be the most educated man in Boise tonight.
I'm just going to listen for a while.
Yeah, it's important. But so important. And I am losing my train. Oh yeah, for pregnancy too. Like, everyone has a different story, and I can tell you, like, I was sick every day. So when they're like, "Oh, your morning sickness," I'm like, "Morning?" I was like way worse at 4. Like all day long. I was like, if I smell a hamburger, I was ready to die. So anyway, but so everyone's story becomes different, and you need to know just how or where do you go? Like, what's my body craving? What do I need to manage not just hormone, but mood and stability and tired and sleepiness and all those things too. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah. So I think for me, like if I'm to break it down, I think it comes down to one, just being education. So education at that younger level about what is a period, why does it happen, where are the fluctuations in the hormones that actually cause the menstrual cycle, and what does that mean?
Now, what is the shedding of the uterine wall? Like,
Yeah.
I taught that. And so people were like, no, I can't be in your class today. I'm going to throw up. I'm like, it's happening to you right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just so foreign to like have the terms and I would draw pictures and I'm like, this is what is happening right now.
Yeah.
So you're just in one stage or the other for your whole life until even in menopause, there's still things going on.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I was 30 years old when I went into menopause then because I had a hysterectomy.
hysterectomy,
Well, and then there's
and
that
a lot
too,
of people
which
are
is another
deciding to, this is enough, you know, and so, and you've got endometriosis and you have,
PCOS.
PCOS, you have mitopic pregnancies. I mean, there's so many different fallopian tubes are, you know, twisted, tied, not ovulating. So all of those situations.
Yeah. So
You know, can I just be funny for a minute?
Go for it.
It sounds like an album from Pink Floyd, Shedding of the, what is it?
Uterine wall.
Yeah, it sounds
That's
like a Pink Floyd
Hey,
album.
guess what? It happens every single month.
So help me as a guy.
do you want me to draw pictures?
No, I don't need to do
the
that.
pictures
will
are
do it.
actually really
I
helpful.
love my pictures.
But maybe for
Yeah.
the male listener who has no idea what you're talking about, what are some of, maybe dumb it down for
Okay,
me.
so how about the next show? I will teach the menstrual cycle. I will do it because I used to do it in class. All my students were, if you're listening, like I was pretty in depth about it, and I loved it when even my male students were like, "What? What is happening?" I'm like, "Yeah, your sister, your mom, your best friend, the girl sitting next to you in class." So once you know it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, so much respect. And by the way, I would tell women, you think our soccer guys or our football guys at school are so strong. Your uterine muscle is the strongest muscle in the entire body.
And thank it for the cramps that it gives
you outdo any boy in this entire school any day. And I'm like, that's empowering.
Yeah.
And I would tell them that. And then I'm like, so just put your head up high. You can do anything. I'm not talking about giving childbirth. I'm talking about the everyday muscle contractions of shedding the uterine wall.
And when does this happen?
Every month, 28, 32
Like
days.
when a girl or woman's
That's
on
the
her
blood.
period. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the bleeding.
Okay. See, I learned something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. We're amazing. And then we make it all over again to do the same thing every 30. I mean, your cycle can be 21 days, 24, 26, 28, 32. Some people have a lower BMI and that affects, or more, or hormones are out, or lots of studying or tests or whatever can change it in your food and your diet.
Yeah.
So,
I think in a nutshell, I think the easiest way to break it down is that you have a cycle, which
Yes.
is, like she said, every, let's say 28 days on average is what the cycle is. It starts with the first day of your period. So that's considered your menstrual cycle, and it usually lasts 5 to 7 days. From there, you go into what's called your follicular phase. So that's the next part of
The
your
cycle.
cycle, that 28-day cycle, which leads you to ovulation. So ovulation is when an egg is actually released from the ovaries, and that's how you can get pregnant. If a sperm fertilizes that egg when it's released, then a baby can form. If it doesn't, then it just ends up flushing out.
right. The whole goal of that egg is to get fertilized.
Exactly. Yeah. And if it doesn't, then progesterone shoots up, and then you go into the luteal phase, which is actually preparing the body to either get the egg stuck to the wall in the uterus so that a baby can actually start to form, or if that doesn't happen, then the lining of the uterus sheds and you start your menstrual cycle again with day 1 of the bleed.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is fascinating.
Yeah,
This
it's
is something
science.
I've never heard before.
And most people, a lot of
Most
women
people
don't even
no, they
understand
don't.
it. They don't know the names of it. They don't
They
know how the
don't have
hormones
any
work.
idea. Right.
Yeah.
So
which
it's
is
like this
crazy.
whole process every month of just,
It's not even every month. It's all the time.
but I mean, the whole cycle is
Yes.
like just repeating itself
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we're amazing.
Yeah. And so women, it's that 28-day cycle. Men, it's typically 24-hour cycle. So your hormones cycle 24 hours, ours are 28 days. So that's why, and it affects your moods too. Your menstrual cycle, you're usually a lot more tired. You don't have the energy right before in that luteal phase. There's the PMS and there's the mood swings, and that's all hormone related. Ovulatory phase, you usually have tons of energy and just a lot
Happiness.
of vitality.
You're like, oh, my
happiness.
daughter's back. We talk about it. I'm like, oh, or when you're on a team sport and you're like, oh, you know exactly who was having their period and it was this game, and maybe there was more blue cards that game. Yeah, you can tie things together with what's happening in the body.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I should have came with questions.
Yeah, I grew up with three sisters, and so this was my entire life. So when I went to college and I was like, I'm going to teach this stuff, and because my mom didn't teach us, I'm sure she didn't know. And so I became like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I feel that same way because it's just, I mean, I didn't realize how much of it there was either until I started working for a women's health company and started learning about all the hormones and learning about all the birth control, and not to anyone's fault, but like starting back at that, menstrual cycle, a lot of people do get cramps, or a lot of women do get cramps.
Yeah.
So in the past it was like, well, here, go on a birth control pill, because that essentially
it'll reduce your cramping.
Yeah, it reduces the cramping. It stops your ovulation. So it kind of puts you into this fake cycle.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Yeah. And it'll solve your problems. Well, it doesn't really solve your problems.
No.
It just kind of slaps a Band-Aid on them so that you don't have the cramps anymore.
And you can prepare to when to carry your midol.
Yeah.
That's what we called it. Like, you will know when you're on this, when to carry the midol. Like, that was the whole goal, which sucks.
Yeah. And now we're learning that it has so many other potential side effects. So especially if people are on it for extended periods of time. So, it's just kind of crazy. And then you bring in the perimenopause and menopausal side of things. And
let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about perimenopause. When is that? And that, of course, is when, like, physically your period is shifting and your cycle isn't as reliable to where you can plan on it. But what's happening in your studies of you're doing more of the pharmaceutical. So are you trying to find, because there's all these like myths and theories and case studies of doctors prescribing estrogen and progesterone and testosterone and all of these medicines for perimenopause. And, I know when I visited with my doctor, it was like, are you having night sweats? And I was like, no, but there's all these other symptoms I was having. And so, they just want to prescribe. So tell us about your situation, what you can talk about as
absolutely.
As a pharmaceutical.
So perimenopause typically is between the ages of like 40 to 52 or 55, depending on when a woman goes into menopause.
Right.
But during that time, like you said, hormones are shifting significantly in the body. So periods are much less predictable. You're getting a lot of other side effects. So it could be hot flashes. It could be night sweats. They're finding out that there's a lot of joint pain associated with it. So frozen shoulder is a big one. Brittle hair, hair loss, loss of collagen. The list goes on and on.
Sure.
Brain fog is a huge one. Forgetting things is a big thing. And in the past, none of these things were associated with it, right? It was just
you're getting
like
older.
Yeah,
you're old.
I'm getting
aging.
crazy, It was just the hot flashes.
Oh, I love it. I'm just getting crazy.
It just happens as we get older.
You pull out the paper. This is how I used to see people. I could tell they were in menopause. I would be like at church, or you're on an airplane, or as a teacher, I would see other, teachers, and in real estate, I'll be driving driving clients around. And all of a sudden, the air conditioning is freezing in my car. But if you can't see me, and they're like taking whatever they can find, magazines, and just fanning themselves. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And there's really nothing.
There's nothing.
Can't crank up the AC any less. And it's having, and then it just goes away. So I'm going to say this. There's an amazing show in Vegas that is absolutely hilarious. And it is called Menopause. And we should all fly to Vegas to watch it. And Kevin, you should watch it too. And that musical / show is so spot on funny, but they do address all of these conditions. And it was just hilarious to watch. And I recommend that they should travel. Heck, we should do like a Boise menopause show. It's
There you
so
go.
funny. But anyway.
But-
I'll get tickets when they come into town for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we're going to Vegas.
Explain hot flashes and night sweats.
So again, it's just the
This is
difference
real.
in hormones
Yes.
in your body cause you to just immediately like
Out of
flush
nowhere.
with heat out of nowhere.
Yes.
And essentially the night sweats are because of the hot flashes. So in the middle of the night, you'll just wake up soaking wet because you had one of these hot flashes. If it happens during the day, a lot of women get all sweaty as well, just in the middle of the day. They bring changes of clothes to work, all that kind of stuff,
Wow.
because it can be
depending
incredibly
on the
intense.
hormones. Like some people are more severe, severe and lessened, like can take paper and fan themselves really fast.
And some don't even have them. Like there are some
Yeah.
women that go through
That don't
menopause
have
that don't even have them. There's some women that have them for 12 years.
Yep.
Like 12
Yeah.
years
So
of
do
having
they
hot
come
flashes.
on like immediately? Wow.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
I'm just
different
like,
for
what's
each person.
happening here? But I don't get the fanning. I just feel it, and it's almost like a singe. How do I explain it? Like my body just singes for a second, and then it's done.
And then it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and to your point about the pharmaceuticals,
Yeah.
so the reason why you would supplement with either an estrogen or progesterone
Right.
is because that will balance out the hormones that are kind of out of whack in
Got
the
it.
perimenopausal phase.
Got it.
So we could talk about this for hours on
Hours.
end with the different types that there are.
Right.
But you never want to take an unopposed estrogen if you do have a uterus. So we take progesterone in addition to the estrogens. Estrogen is what actually is going to balance out so that you're not having the hot flashes, so that you're not having the side effects
Got it.
of the perimenopause or the menopause. But the progesterone is to protect your uterine lining. So there's studies that show that you can get endometrial cancer if you don't do both of them.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay.
So,
But if someone has like a hysterectomy, like our guest,
yes,
she wouldn't need the progesterone.
Not
she
for that
would
purpose.
need the estrogen, and you would be okay just to take the one.
for that
Hypothetical.
purpose. Yes.
Yeah.
Funny. Because
Yeah.
I just went to a woman's doctor.
Yeah, we might need to mic her. Yeah, tell us your story. This is called coffee chat. What they used to call it on Saturday Night Live? Coffee talk. Do you remember that? We don't have coffee, but coffee
We
talk.
had ice cream. It's all
Yeah,
good.
we had ice cream.
So I was talking to my girlfriends, and they go to a hormone replacement therapy, and I was talking to them about,
Yeah.
going through my divorce. I'm like, my hair is super brittle, it's falling out, and they're like, it could not just be the stress, it could be your hormones, and I'm like, okay, well that would explain why, when I try to work out or do things, it's hard to lose weight. So they send me
Yeah.
to this gal. I go and see her and go through my whole history, right? Have a hysterectomy, all that. She prescribed me, all my test results came back within reason.
Normal range.
Okay.
My progesterone was just a tiny bit low. And she goes, with your sex drive and everything else, we're not going to give you estrogen because you don't need it. So we're just going to give you progesterone and put you on a thyroid medication, a very, very, very low dose. And so I got
For your thyroid, sorry to interrupt, but for your thyroid or for some other purpose for the
because
thyroid medication?
of the subclinical reasons that
The
might have
reason you
been
don't
that-
have a uterus, maybe? Like
Well,
the hysterectomy?
No, so like
Okay.
you can have symptoms
Yeah.
of hypo or hyperthyroidism,
Sure.
but your test results will come back
Oh.
saying that
You're fine.
your levels are fine.
Got it.
But with the hair loss and all of that
Sure.
and being fatigued, they're like,
Yeah.
this could be one of the driving factors because you have an entire family history of
Got it.
this.
Got
so
it.
she's like, let's try that. So I'm on it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very small microdose.
Yeah.
And my energy levels are great. But I'm so afraid to take the progesterone because
Yeah.
I'm like, I
What's going
don't
to happen to that?
I still have my ovaries with my hysterectomy, but I've never had to do hormone
Yeah.
therapy, and my mom had to, and it has been awful on her whole life trying to balance those out.
Yeah. So the progesterone is not likely so much for like hot flashes or things like that, but to balance out, like you're talking about, the hair, the brittleness, skin dryness, things like that. And one thing that's important to know about progesterone is that the hormone that we actually make in our bodies is progesterone. Anything that is synthetic is called a progestin. And so oftentimes doctors will prescribe progestins, which can affect our bodies differently than progesterone.
Got it.
Right now, there are a lot of bioidentical progesterone options out on the market. So that's the first thing that I would highly recommend, that anyone that's on progesterone request a bioidentical, and 2, request something that's FDA approved. So we're using a lot of compounding pharmacies right now, mostly for hormones or for any of the weight loss medications. And we don't know what is in anything that's in from a compounded pharmacy. It could be great. It could be absolutely nothing. And you're paying for something. It could be way more than what they say. It could be way less than what they say.
See, that's why it's so frustrating.
It's completely unregulated.
We need to have something that's regulated, that works for the long term.
So it's just one of those things, just again, being educated. So ask your doctor for something that's an FDA approved medication, that's bioidentical, and that's going to be your safest bet. And you want the lowest possible dose that's actually going to take away the symptoms. So start low. You can always add more, but if you just go into that higher dose, then your body kind of gets used to that and needs that higher dose. Yeah. And that's another good point too. So with the studies on women's health, as you go into menopause, you actually want to supplement with the hormones earlier than later. Because if you start out at the age of about 55 with supplementing with estrogen and progesterone to balance out your hormones,
you've passed your limit. You've already passed.
Yeah, well, if you start out later, like if some people wait and it used to be because of shame, or it used to be because it wasn't talked about, and then they would get to a point where they were like, I just can't handle this anymore. I need something, but they're already 69 years old. And at that point, it's much more risky because your body's been off of it for so long, and then it's like a shock to your system to throw it back in. But if you maintain it and you regulate it over time, it has much better benefits for your body. And in addition to that, it can help with things like dementia and brain health. It helps with our bone health. It helps with our vascular health. So one of the reasons why women have the higher rate of cardiovascular issues and heart attack issues is because as we age, we lose such a significant amount of estrogen, and estrogen is heart protective. And once that's gone, all of a sudden people just start, exactly, without supplementation. And up until recently, we haven't known all these different things.
I think because, I remember times of hearing this, like, oh, if you have to take a hormone, you're going to get cancer. So nobody wanted to risk getting cancer. But I do think there was limits, right? Like the levels and how much you're taking.
Yeah, so a lot of that came from what was called the WHI, or the Women's Health Initiative study. And when that was done, they stopped it because there were higher incidents of breast cancer in a certain population. But they've since determined that that was from the actual progestins. So not progesterone, but the synthetic progestins were what caused the incidences in breast cancer.
You're right. I think it was breast cancer was on the rise.
And so once they've determined that, now again, if you advocate for yourself for an actual progesterone or bioidentical hormones, you're not going to have that same effect. And there's actually a lot of women's health advocates and physicians that are actually pushing estrogen more now because of the benefits over those detriments. Even for some breast cancer patients or people that are predisposed because of family history, and I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but they're prescribing estrogen to those patients because the quality of life will be so much higher, and it's so much better than the small risk that they can possibly
I love the idea for joints because of being active. I don't want to not be able to go running, and like you were saying, the shoulder thing, like I can't imagine. There's so many, and they're in our age category, in our age groups, and you don't have to live like that. Like there are ways that aren't just, and there's over the counter stuff for sure for joints, but there could be something else. So I'd highly recommend, if you're between those ages of 40 and 55 and you're experiencing any of this, like go find a women's health doctor and find out what you can do to improve your quality of life.
Yeah. And asking the questions. And you'll know if it's someone that wants to talk to you about hormones, then they probably know pretty well what they should be doing and what you need.
Right.
If it's someone that you go to that you're asking questions and they're just kind of pushing it off and they're like, I don't know, no, you don't need that. You know, it's likely because they just don't have the knowledge, and it's not necessarily to their fault, but go find someone else that does want to have the conversation with you, that is going to sit down and talk to you about it, because the information is out there.
Do you know if there are more requirements for family practice doctors or women's health doctors or OBs that would, like, as far as their licensing, are they I know every state is different too with licensing, but I wonder if there's more, continuing ed classes available, because, I remember even in nutrition, like, that was kind of my background, but when I went to college, it was like dietetics had to take nutrition classes. If I was going to teach nutrition, I had a certain amount of, 48 credits I had to get under my belt to be able to teach it in the state of Idaho. But doctors, one class.
Yeah.
One class. So that they could resource it out to a dietetic and then use those dietitians to come in and work with the patient. But gosh, you would just think, is it the same? And I unfortunately, maybe somebody out there can respond to this, but yeah, it feels like, as women's health is progressing and more information is coming, it seems like more available with AI and internet and everything else we have, that more things can be done and should be done and understood better.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's not really any requirements or specific certifications. The North American Menopause Society, which is also known as NAMS, has an annual conference where they can go for continuing education.
Okay.
But one thing specifically about Idaho is that we don't have enough OB-GYNs to support the population and the growing population, and women's health here is a little bit tricky. So more and more people are having to go to family practice providers to
I get it.
get their women's health stuff taken care of.
Right.
And family practice providers don't really learn a whole lot about women's health specifically when they're going through their schooling.
Yeah.
So it's something I run into often in my conversations with HCPs, where they're like, yeah, if you guys have dinner programs or if you're doing this, let us know, because we just want to learn more. We don't know enough.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
And if you go online, there's so much online that, what do we believe? What do we
What
not
do you
believe?
Exactly.
So
yeah. Which website is real?
Right.
WebMD? Just because it's WebMD.
Should you be going to your doctor, or what about these hormone
Replacement therapists.
that are
Yeah.
popping up everywhere?
I agree.
So it's hard because
know.
you still need to, I would advocate for
Prescription.
educating yourself the best that you can. And I can tell you a couple of resources that I would recommend, but some of those hormone clinics I'm sure are wonderful. They can also make a lot of money from those hormone clinics. Again, so whether it's compounded, they're making tons of money off of compounds oftentimes. Pellets are another big one. So if you've heard of like the testosterone
I
pellets.
have a lot of friends that do that, and that's where I went to begin.
Here, Ray, take your mic.
I'll just speak. You guys can
Kevin is taking serious notes.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends that are doing that, and that's where they pointed me in that direction, was instead of going to my
Family doctor,
was go get pellets, because that will help balance out your energy and your hair loss and all of that. So I'm like, okay, so I go and do that. Well, of course, all my levels are, she's like, I don't even know why you're here, because nothing's out of whack.
Sticking out.
So I don't qualify for pellets. And they're like,
okay.
oh, that's where they came with a thyroid medication.
Yeah. So I would say be careful. My personal opinion is to be careful with the pellets, because one, when it's inserted, it's like a big slam of whatever the hormone is.
Right
so
away.
you get this huge peak, and then it kind of slowly starts to settle off. But once it's put in, you can't take it out.
Right.
So you're
Right.
stuck with that for the 3 months or the 6 months or however long. And that could make it even worse than where you started. Some people feel a lot better on them. Some people, I feel like it's placebo effect, but they're expensive, and pellets are compounded too.
Yeah.
So you might get one pellet the first time that feels really great. And then the second time that you get a pellet, it could be a completely different compound that's in there that could feel completely
Yeah, that recipe
off.
changed, didn't it?
Yeah. So I would just be hesitant to move forward on that, especially if your hormone levels are fine. Like, don't just jump on the bandwagon because it's what everyone else is talking about. A couple of resources. There is a doctor named Dr. Lisa Larkin, who's out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and she started an organization called Her Medicine. Okay. It's free for everyone. It's a website online.
Oh, Her. I have that for my daughter.
Okay.
Well, for her cramping, and I mean, she's
not
teenager.
not hers.
Not
we're
hers.
getting them.
Okay,
No, not hers.
I was like, I've seen that one. I've ordered for my daughter. Yeah.
I know what one you guys are talking about. I don't know anything about that one.
Okay.
But it's just HER Medicine. And every Monday night they do a different topic on, it's all providers that are speaking, very educated in the women's health space. And they will do breast cancer and hormone replacement, or what about pellets, or just a different topic. And so if you want to chime in, you can chime in. She has a ton of articles, a ton of information. She has a great social media page. So that's one resource that I think is really well vetted that gives a lot of information.
Can you say that website again if you remember it?
Yeah, it's Her Medicine, HER Medicine, and I think it's .org.
.org. Okay. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot, right? And then of course, let's end with a quick, few minutes that we don't want to ignore menopause itself. We're seeing it, younger and younger. What do you think that's attributed to?
I think it's the same reasons as the menstrual cycle coming younger and younger. There's so many hormone disruptors just in our daily life, whether it's the fertilizers that are in our fields or on our foods, whether it's the scents that we have in our rooms, whether it's what we're actually consuming in our foods.
The stress level of life.
Yeah, stress in general as well. Not moving our bodies like we used to move our bodies, not taking time to sleep. Sleep is huge. And we get less and less of it. So all of those are really important factors.
To that. Yeah. I've got Rayanne here who's like, I'm going to bed. Good night. 7:30.
Yeah, my
bedtime's right now.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what are you doing up so late? I'm like, I don't know. I've got so much work to do. But yeah.
But I never set an alarm. I wake up the same time every single day. Like it is, I just sleep until I'm not tired.
Oh, that's good. That's amazing. Good for you. Most people, I would say, don't
get that chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joint pain. We'll blame it on joint pain and whatever those night sweats are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was reflecting on my next show, which Kevin will get the pictures, or my drawings. Something will happen. But I remember telling my class when I was teaching, and the boys for sure were, the girls too, all of us, were like trying to learn this. And the boys in my classroom were just amazed. And like, you saw a switch in them and how kind they became to girls. And I feel like that should be something that everyone needs to be trained and educated on, but also the time, like in a woman's health, women's body, this transition can be 40 years of your life. If you start thinking that, let's just say 12, which seems super young to start your menstrual cycle, and you don't end until 50, you're looking at a 42-year cycle.
Yeah. And 50 would be relatively early.
And that could be early. Well, yeah. And then I think because they're starting earlier, and of course pregnancy and childbirth and life events and stress, but 40 years is a pretty good average to say that that's what a woman goes through. Yeah. So compliments to being a woman.
Yeah. And then even once you hit menopause, it's not like it's over. You're still dealing with your hot flashes. You're still dealing with the hair loss or the
hormone balancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
so
point.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I know I appreciate what you do and what you stand for and help educate other people, and we're glad you came to our show.
Thank you. Yeah.
And move that body.
Yes.
That's a lifelong endurance. Oh, Kevin wants to know. Here, you want your mic back or mine?
I don't know. I had the 5th grade sex ed talk.
Yeah.
I said I'm good. I don't know if we need to have another show about it, but what kind of nutrition would you, what kind of hints would you give to people maybe going through this, like how to eat healthier, or any tips for their nutrition?
Are you speaking for women?
Yes.
Or just in general, anybody?
Yeah. for women?
for women?
Yeah.
Protein.
Yeah, protein is huge. So I
Yeah.
think as we hit that perimenopausal and into menopause, the two biggest things are strength training and protein. So after we hit the age of 40, we should be trying to get our body weight essentially in grams of protein. So it seems like it's a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
But-
gosh, I start thinking of that much.
It's crazy. I know.
How much chicken and
I know.
yeah, steak and yeah.
But it could be anything, right? It can be a
Yeah,
protein shake in the
cheese
morning. It could be,
sticks.
cottage cheese. It can be
Beef
yogurt.
sticks,
It can be,
jerky.
jerky, chicken.
Your snacks need to be protein based.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then high fiber is another
Okay.
good one. That just helps us to stay satiated so we're not snacking. It also really helps with our gut microbiome just to keep everything balanced. And if our gut microbiome is off, that oftentimes affects our hormones because cortisol also really is a hormone
Right,
in our body,
right,
but it
right.
also affects our other hormones. And that's all affected by our gut microbiome. So high fiber and then healthy fats. So your avocados, your olive oil, your chia seeds, omega-3s are really, really big, again, for satiety.
Good thing we like
but-
seafood.
Yeah. Also, brain health is another thing that it's
Sure.
really helpful for. And then it helps us with maintaining that balance of all of our hormone levels as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, good question, Kevin. I
Yeah.
like that. Thank you.
Got one in.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I do too. That's good.
So
goodness.
for
Awesome.
anyone who wants to come visit you, you've got the Torque Body Shop. What else? I mean, what else do you provide? I mean, you have clients that I think you said you deal with weight loss, or how can somebody reach out to you if they're interested in some of your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the studio, we're downtown Boise. We have different fitness classes. We do personal training, one-on-one, private yoga, one-on-one, and then also do nutrition coaching for weight loss clients. And so torquebodyshop.com is the website. So that's where all the info can be found for phone number, email, all that kind of stuff. Or just Torque Body Shop is our handle for Instagram as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I do work with a lot of the providers in the Valley. So a lot of the hormone and wellness doctors as well, a lot of those that are doing the medical weight loss to make sure that patients also have the optimal nutrition and the strength training. Because not just to segue into something completely different, but oftentimes it's that 40 to 60 year old that's on the medical weight loss as well, whether it's men or women. And if we're just on those, oftentimes we're just losing muscle mass and
Got
muscle
it.
wasting instead of losing the fat that we want to actually be losing. So it just kind of helps to supplement that regardless.
I need
of-
to go do some yoga.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Mindset too, right? Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Mindset, renewal, yoga,
All the good
stretching, all those things that I failed to do. Because I'm just like, I'll go run and I'll go play soccer and get blue card.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I do love it.
So I had a feeling you would be a great guest,
Yeah.
and I have a feeling you could do a number of different shows, but we appreciate you taking some time. I've learned a lot.
I hope so.
What's it called again? Something, the uterine wall?
The shedding.
Shedding.
The shedding of the uterine wall.
I
I'll remind
swear
you.
it's like a Pink Floyd album.
There's an ice cream. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, if you brought an ice
Could
cream.
you imagine?
Oh, I wouldn't even be able to. Like, I can't handle. Like, I can talk about it, but if I have to actually.
There's
And I ha-
probably some
That
like
was
Ben
just
and
about
Jerry's
gross.
PMS.
Can
or
you
Right.
imagine? Actually, there probably is. Just the chocolate one.
I had a different image in my head, but
We're talking about PMS,
Right.
not uterine walls. And
Like red velvet.
I was
That's
going
what I'm
like
bringing to you next week.
a
It's like-
raspberry swirl or something, which we had one couple weeks. We did try the Baskin Robbins baseball nut, and it was raspberry swirl. Sorry, this
raspberry swirl.
this is gonna
and
have to be
what do you call it?
edited.
Red velvet cake.
This is gonna have,
Every 28 days,
this is gonna have to be edited out.
there's special estrogen in this patch.
We're gonna have to edit this one. We're gonna have to edit this one out.
No, this is funny. I really do think women, you are amazing.
I think the problem for me is I was very shy as a kid. My sister graduated high school when I was 10. My parents divorced, so I wasn't around that. I got divorced when my ex-wife was 39,
You
40
were
years
around
old.
it, Kevin. It's just you didn't. We weren't
Well,
educated.
I mean, I'm just
That's
saying
the truth.
in a household, I didn't see it. I haven't been through a lot of this. So anyway, I'm a little uneducated.
Yeah,
I'm a lot
but
uneducated.
it's. I'm glad you're here listening because that's the first step, is getting the information out, because everyone should be asking those questions. It's part of life.
I will say that I have told a few different people about this show, what you were going to talk about, and they're like, I want to listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot of people who want to hear what you have to say. And we might have you come back on down the road and we'll find a different topic, because
Yeah,
I think you're a wealth of knowledge.
I do too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Fabulous. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the input, and feel free to reach out to us at Ice Cream for Breakfast, and we will answer your questions
Ice Cream for Breakfast podcast at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. And
Yep.
we have our YouTube channel, Ice Cream for Breakfast, and we are airing each show on Thursdays. So Thursdays, tune in for a new show. We do have a Facebook page. You can follow us there as well.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming in.
out.
Yeah.
And thanks for our guest.
Ta-ta-da, Rayonce.